Our company believes that good habit makes good people. So we developed the software, help people have a good habit. But for me, I had a bad habit related with the password. To remember my password easier, I used the one same password for online services. The worst habit was I just blindly typed my ID and password to the service without checking that service was authentic. To change my bad habit, I created service password idea. Service password idea is let the service show the service password to the user instead of asking for user password. Let me show you how the service password works on the web, mobile, and ATM and PC. You will be surprised at how easy it is. Here is internet banking with the service password. User entered just an user ID without the user password. At that time, service showed the service password. That service password is random generated by the server. And then you got an alert on your mobile. Your mobile app generated the service password by itself. So all you have to do is just check if two numbers match. When you touch a finger, mobile app generated user one-time password internally and send it back to the service. It looks like service authentication by the user, but it is mutual authentication between the user and the service. Some of you might think ISO looks like this simple user authentication, but all of you have seen is authenticate from the mobile authenticator to the service, not from the user and the service. It is through end-to-end authentication. Until now, mutual authentication technology cannot work on the device. It is only work device to device, not from the user to the server. We changed that concept. OK, let me show you how the service password works well for the second-step verification. So here is a banking app with service password. User just enter ID and password. This app shows the service password to the user at the bottom. Right after that, OK, and then right after that, service password app launched automatically. It generated service password to the user. This authentication server located in Korea and US, so it takes some time. And then anyway, you can check the two service passwords at the same time without changing the screen. When you touch your finger, Finovate user authentication is done internally. So it is not only multi-factor user authentication, but also multi-factor service authentication. And service password could work well as a universal authenticator. Until now, we have to use various user authenticator. To use ATM, we need a card and PIN code. To use mobile banking, we have to use text message code or maybe our fingerprint. Or to use internet banking, we use the OTP code or the password. It is too complicated. But existing authentication technologies couldn't have the service password. So it is only work on the one client device. Only DualAuth, only service password, build the trust from the user and the service server with the service password. We can make our mobile as a cross-server universal mutual authenticator. Let me show you how the service password changes our ATM. Here is the ATM. At the ATM, change the service press the service password, and then type the user ID. And select amount, how much money you want, withdraw. And it generates the ATM, show the service password to the user. At the time, you got an alert. All you have to do, just check if two numbers match. That's it. It's easy, doesn't it? So anyway, with the service password, we can make our mobile as a cross-server universal mutual authenticator. OK, let me show you one more funny case. In the office, sometimes we ask us to change our Windows password regularly. Because of that, sometimes we forget our Windows password. So we change that. So at the PC, just type your ID, and it shows the service password to the user. And it shows the service password to the user, and then you got an alert on your mobile. all you have to do, you already know that, how to use it, don't you? It's easy to use. Anyway, so with the service password, we can change our mobile as the true crossover, universal, mutual, multi-factor authenticator. It's too long, but it is true. Anyway, with the service password, I changed my bad habit. In the process of verifying the service password, I can verify the service provider every time without user password burden. Let me ask you one quick question for you. Which password habit do you want to have? Vulnerable, one-way user password, do you want to still use that? Or strong, mutual, multi-factor authentication solution like a service password? Let's give our user password burden to the service. Service deserves to service us. Okay, if you want to have service password habit, please stop by our networking table. Thank you.